What is the deal, YouTube? Welcome to the channel. I'm here today to talk about photography burnouts and just things that I've experienced as a photographer, videographer, as a creative in a whole. I have done wedding photography, event photography, behind the scenes, you name it, I've done it. Portrait, landscape, whatever you can think of in the world of photography, I've done it, except for film. I have just recently started tapping into, I won't even say tapping in. What I will say is I am more interested now in film photography than I've ever been in my entire photography career. So, with that being said, I think I'm gonna pick up a film camera, probably point and shoot. I've been looking at Highmatic AF2 35mm. That looks really good. I'm hoping that I can thrift that at some point, but it is a 40-year-old camera, I'm gonna say. Early 80s. It is film. I would hope to be able to thrift a good condition. But if I can't find one in the next week or two, pretty sure I'm going to just order one online and order one that's in probably mint condition. Back to the point at hand. Creativity burnouts. Whatever it is you do, there will be a crossroad that you come to that you are completely exhausted, tired, and you feel as though you hit a creative wall, just boom, smack into the wall. For me, I had to completely stop everything that I was doing as a photographer when I hit that wall. That wedding photography, event photography. Man, you don't know nothing like standing up for 10 plus hours doing a wedding, following, and I'm talking about by myself. I didn't even have a team at this time. The good part is I was just a photographer at the wedding. I didn't have to worry about videography at the time. But I just got tired, and I felt as though I was doing it more of as a side job when I started as just a hobbyist, just somebody who liked very, very clear pictures, very, very sharp pictures, who loved the look that of good photography. I remember, I had a camera and I remember it dropped, and at that time it broke. I wasn't making a lot of money as far as doing photography to where I could just pick up and go, buy a new camera. I was doing weddings every now and then, event photography every now and then, and even then I didn't know how to price myself at the time, so I was probably 100% underpricing myself for what I was producing and the amount of content that I was giving people who would hire me for events or weddings. It took me about 6 months to a year to save up to buy my next camera. I was just taking care of my family. That's all bills, family, that's all I could think of. And I just remember it took me 6 months to a year to save up. But when I tell you that was the best thing that could have happened to me, I was burnt out. I was doing weddings, and I remember the last wedding I did, my feet hurt so bad. But we needed that money. My feet hurt so bad. Mind you, I'm still employed by the United States Postal Service to this day. But at that time, I had worked half a day at the post office, walking, delivering a letter carrier or something, delivering mail half the day, and then I go straight into shooting a wedding. And I just remember how exhausted I was, and fast forward maybe a week or two later, my camera falls out of my camera bag, lens shatters, the mirror in the camera breaks, everything. I'm just like, oh. And when I tell you that break in between breaking my camera and taking pictures on the iPhone at this point, not professionally, but just having to use my iPhone for certain things, that break just completely overhauled me. And that wasn't even the only break. Fast forward to 2019, going through a divorce, going through everything. The end of 2019, I'm going through everything you could think of. Divorce, I move out, you know, saving my money to do just certain things, get my life back on track. And I actually start taking pictures for, actually my friends started taking pictures of me to help me get my mind off of things. So now I'm on the other side of photography. I guess you want to call it modeling. I'm not a professional model at all, but I'm on the other side of it now, on the other side of the camera. And I had my camera, but I just needed a break from it. I fell out of love with it because it was a way for me to support my family. But at this point, I don't have a family. You know, I got my son and the family that I create now that I have around me in my circle. But at this point, me and my ex are separating. We're going through our differences and, you know, in and out of court arguing. And I just remember how much I didn't want to take pictures. And when I finally decided to pick my camera up, I wanted to take the pictures that I fell in love with. The reason I fell in love with it, portraits. I just wanted to do portraits. I didn't want to do events, weddings, anything. And my focus since then has been portraits. And I remember when I picked this camera up, I started taking pictures of my son again. I started taking pictures of my friends, my family, my girlfriend. We just started to, I say we, but I just became one with my camera again. Started taking the pictures that I fell in love with, things that I love to do. My most recent shoot, I did the pumpkin photo trend. My girlfriend wanted to do it. And editing, sitting down and editing those photos, I remember why I fell in love with photography and why I get burnt out when I'm doing things that I don't enjoy doing as far as photography goes. So with that being said, I do look forward to eventually tapping into film photography and really tapping in. I've been watching Mike Gray. He's a beast with the film cameras. I think that's his, you know, first love. That's why he fell in love with film photography. And for me, I hope to be able to accomplish, you know, the look and the reason why I like photography and portrait photography. When I do decide, okay, hey, I'm ready to make the leap and pick up a film camera and grow my skill as a photographer. So yeah, stay tuned. Again, my name is Views by Laurent. Thank you for following the channel. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff.